we're going to get into Pistons hot takes. So I want to ask Ku. He said he had maybe a spicy or a lukewarm take. So what is your Pistons hot take before the season does start?
All right, so I have two. Okay. And the first one, again, it could be a hot take to some, and it could be a very cold take to others. It depends like where you stand with the Pistons. I think this team is going to be top 3 in the East again. I don't see them falling out of the top 3. And again, if you're one of the people who are panicking and think everyone in the East has jumped them, then that's a hot take. If you're one of the people who think, these other teams may jump, but the Pistons are still very good, that's probably a cold take. So it depends where you stand on it. But yeah, the Pistons are going to be a top 3 seed team this year. I get people questioning what their ceiling could be in the playoffs. We'll see. But like regular season, this is what wins in the regular season. And really the comparison you can use is kind of like Utah with Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert. And even before Donovan Mitchell, teams that win a lot of games in the playoff are guaranteed to win a lot of games in the regular season. Teams that are deep, teams that are one of the best defensive teams in the league, and the teams that have young legs. If you are a young team that's deep with defenders and you're one of the best defensive teams in the league, you are going to transfer that every single night. You are going to win more games in the regular season than everyone else, even if maybe you're not better than the other team. Maybe the Pistons don't end the season as a top 3 team. Maybe they lose in round 2 again. Heck, maybe they get upset in first round and it's just like a massive disappointment. Maybe that does happen. But in the regular season, they are still a very deep team. They are still going to be one of top 3 defense in the NBA, I think. And they have a bunch of young legs. Those guys don't get tired. They don't take nights off, especially when that's your identity. It's the same thing as last year. So they're going to win more games than people. They're not going to drop that big in the standings, I don't think. They have the recipe to just be a great regular season team again. So that's hot take number 1. Hot take number 2 is Ibuka Okoro is the backup point guard by the end of the season.
Okay. Yeah, it's funny. When I talked to Czar, because we did a podcast, I want to say a month ago, he had a similar take as well he was really early on the Ibuka stuff. I got to give him his flowers and his credit.
He was a big Ibuka guy.
He called that a month ago or 2 months ago, like in June or even before June, maybe May. I don't even remember. My memory is trash right now, but I can kind of see the Ibuka take 100%. I'm really interested to see the camp battle between him and Danis because I don't really think the backup point guard's set in stone. I know a lot of people think it's just going to be Danis' job no matter what. I think Ibuka has a pretty good opportunity to get some minutes. I'm not saying he's going to start right off the gate. I think he's going to have to take it away from Danis eventually, but might get JB thinking maybe I give this kid a little bit more run. Your first take, I agree with you. I don't think this team is going to drop off from being a first seed this past season to I've seen some reckless comments on my YouTube channel. They'll be lucky to be a 10 seed. I've seen just some reckless. I get it. A lot of these teams look good on paper, but we don't really know how that's going to translate in NBA games. Obviously Philly having, I would say, arguably the best offseason. They will be better, 100%, getting LeBron and Jaylen Brown. I just want to see what they look like collectively. How many games does Joel Embiid and play? What does Tyrese Maxey kind of look like with all that offensive talent? I get it. Boston, which I have a hot take. I don't see Boston being a top 4 seed. I just don't.
That is a hot take.
I just don't I know Joe Mazzulla is a good coach. I just don't see it. I just don't see it.
I'm very high on Boston. So I'm interested. We'll see we'll have to come back to this after the season because I really like Boston. But that is a hot take. This is a hot take segment. That is a hot take. I agree. I think where's Boston's odds? I think Boston's odds probably is. Are they high? Are they higher than the Pistons? Do we know?
I can look it up. I know they were, I think, above the Pistons in every type of NBA future bet, especially the win the Eastern Conference. Last time I looked, they were ranked above them.
Odds last time I looked, the Pistons are lower in to win the East. But when you look at the standings in the East, they're much higher in the East. So, I think the odds makers agree that this is a team that's going to win a lot of regular season games, still be very good, and they just question how far can they get into playoffs like this.
Yeah, so they're the seed odds that we just read. They have them ranked above the Pistons. They have them set at 50.5 wins. They have the Pistons set at 48.5 wins right now. So I'd
take the Pistons over on that.
Yeah, they were. Oh, now you can't because FanDuel locked it. Figures. Probably should have taken it. I should have taken it when I saw them go from like 51.5 to 48 and they locked it, and you can't do it now.
I was going to say, didn't the Pistons open at 50.5?
Yeah, then they dropped down to 48 like last
Yeah.
week. So I don't know what happened. Oh, maybe it was the LeBron signing or whatever it may be. But I mean, I have the Pistons at least winning 50 games this year. I don't know if they'll win 60. I just don't know. They'd have to have another like win streak like they had last season. But I feel like their schedule is actually pretty decent. It's not anything like too crazy. But yeah, the Boston thing with me, I don't really I know Jason Tatum is coming back from an injury. I still kind of question like can Jason Tatum have a similar type of usage that Jaylen Brown did? Like, can he take the stress of that for a long season?
Yeah, I think my overall take with Boston is last year they won with that roster with Jaylen Brown as the best guy, and they won they were second seed. I think, yeah, right.
Yeah.
That was with Jaylen Brown. People, I think, are looking at it completely wrong. Like they're looking at it as they swapped Jaylen Brown for Paul George, where actually they swapped Jaylen Brown for Jason Tatum, and then added Paul George and Mitchell Robinson to the same roster. It's the same roster, except Jaylen Brown's gone, and now Jason Tatum, Mitchell Robinson, and Paul George is now on the roster. So I think they're actually going to be really good. I think Tatum is much better than Jaylen Brown. And if he can make it through a season, I think they're going to be very good. And I think the system that Mazzulla has is set up to win a lot of games. I think their roster, we'll see. If Tatum's not able to get through a season, or if he's struggling to get through a season, or if he's constantly singing, or if he's rusty, even though it looked like he looked pretty good this past year, maybe a further away, he still has to knock rust off, whatever. That could definitely happen. The health thing is definitely something you still need to pay attention to. But as long as he stays healthy, I think they're going to be very good still. I'm very high on Jason Tatum and that overall roster. So we'll see. We'll have to come back to this one.
Yeah, 100%. I know it's not really a Pistons hot take. I would probably say my one hot take for this team is I anticipate John Collins to get back to his Utah Atlanta type of production. Like that's kind of my hot take.
Can I ask you a question to kind of further your hot take?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think he gets traded at the deadline?
That's a good one. It's funny because I'm in the middle of creating this whole game chart that I'm gonna have someone on next week. We're gonna kind of just like play like Pistons squares, if you will. And the three guys that I had were John Collins, Ron Holland, and Duncan Robinson as trade candidates.
Yep.
So I think if they start the season off slow and it doesn't look good, yes, I think he could be on the trading block now. Who is that going to be? I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be a Trey Murphy. I don't know if that would be like MPJ. I don't know if that'd be a Lauri Markkanen. Could be a disgruntled superstar. Who knows? But I think they kind of want to at least explore the versatility that he could bring. But would not surprise me if you saw him packaged with a couple different players.
Yeah, I think he's the most likely one to get traded on the roster.
Okay. Do you think it would be for a power forward position or more kind of just looking at maybe secondary ball handler, or just he's just going to be traded regardless?
I think it could be either or. I think the way his contract was structured, says to me they are very much, this is just a placeholder and we're looking for upgrades. We're looking for, potential upgrades down the line. His contract's very tradable. It's non-guaranteed the last 2 years. Like, people are going to want that deal. They're going to want to get off of money if they want to. They have expiring right here, basically. It's a decent salary. Like, it's not a crazy salary either. My guess, I've said I fully expect him. I guess another hot take, if this counts as one, I fully expect him to be traded midseason.
Wow. Okay. Maybe I'm
three hot takes for me.
Maybe I'm a little bit just too high on him. I just feel like he's going.
I think he could be good. I think he could be good, but I think, I guess I could make this a fourth hot take. I think even if they are playing well, I think they trade him.
Wow. Okay.
I think they want to take advantage of his contract. I think they know that this deadline is when, for me, I view the Pistons' window of making a move as any moment before Sarr and Duren's contract are both on the books officially. And that's next offseason. Once next offseason officially starts, they both will be on the books, and now you lose a little bit of flexibility. I think they want to get someone on the books before then. So I think the deadline, they will be making a move. And I think even if they are playing well, they'll use him to get another upgrade for whatever they need. So that's I guess the fourth hot take right there for Pistons Talk.
Well, let me ask you this. What's a move that you would absolutely hate, but you could totally see them making?
That I would hate?
Yeah.
If they overpaid, if they overreacted to the need of a secondary scorer to where they went out and like gave up assets for Zach LaVine, or if they went out and gave up assets for a guy like that, a guy who hasn't been a winner, doesn't really. There's been a lot of, like, he doesn't contribute much in really any other area defensively, playmaking wise, that they're just like a scorer and they feel the need that we have to address scoring. So let's give up all these assets for an older aging guy that can shoot and score. I think that one I would really hate. Now he's expiring. So like, if they got him for an expiring and like they didn't give up much, they would be one of those ones where it's like, okay, like I wouldn't like it. That's not one I would do, but I would sit back and be like, I guess I get it.
Yeah, I have another player. I don't know if Trajan would do this. It is a New Orleans Pelican. It's not Trey Murphy though. It's Zion. Yeah, it's Zion.
I mean, how would they even?
I could.
They would have to give up Ron, probably. I think.
Yeah, which I've heard that they're pretty high on Ryan, but I mean that's the one player where I'm just like, I could totally see them like trying to buy low on Zion, but knowing that front office, they probably want 5 first-round picks.
Yeah.
It's honestly crazy, just kind of like the whole process down there with them and like just wanting a king's ransom for their players. But I could totally see Zion being a player that maybe Trajan thinks he can buy low on. It's a power forward. Like him and Cade would be interesting together, but I just wouldn't like it. I could understand why they would want to take kind of like a swing or a gamble, but I think the gamble would be a little bit too risky for me.
I think you would not be able to put Zion on this team unless you traded Duren. Like you could play Zion and Asar together with like a stretch 5, and that would work fine. They've done that before in Zion's career, like basically with Herb Jones. And they would be fine because they don't operate the same spaces, and Zion's probably the best tight space scorer in the NBA. Like he's able to find these little windows and score. He doesn't need space to score, basically is my point. Like some guys who are scorers need spacing. He doesn't need spacing. He's give him a run lane and he will be able to find a way to get to the basket every time. So you can play him with one other non-shooter if they're like a perimeter defender like that. We've seen that. If you play him with that and then you play another non-shooter, now it's just like you can't do it. So the only way you'd be able to get Zion on the team, you'd have to be wanting to move off of Duren then. Like that would be if that's what you're doing it for, which I low key look, we talked about this a little bit on the podcast, like I think like a week and a half ago. If the Pistons, if they get to a point where it's like, all right, man, you're not coming back. We're not coming to an agreement on a deal. We got to trade you. I would be calling New Orleans then. If they get to that point, I want him back. I don't want him to be like, I want Duren signed back. I think that's the best idea. But if it got to the point where they're just like, we're not coming to an agreement. We got to get rid of you. It's best for both sides. Let's start looking at trades. First team I'm calling is New Orleans. I think that should immediately be the first team you call, whether it's for Zion or Trey Murphy or whatever. But I'm calling Troy Weaver instantly and be like, oh, you want your guy back? We want everything. And Troy loves his centers and he loves Duren enough to where maybe you could get a scam. Like that is the first team I am calling if that got to that point.
You'd have to get Troy when Joe Dumars is out of the office. I think he could probably pull it off that day.
Well, who knows how often? Does anyone really know who's the one in the office at all times? Like, do we know anything that's going on with New Orleans? Like,
I don't even know, man. But it's funny because like I have some buddies that host a New Orleans Pelican podcast, and I was just listening to theirs before we recorded today, and they're saying like you can't play Zion and Derek Queen together; they don't fit. Like
They were horrible last year.
Yeah, but like the only reason why I would hate it was just spacing. Like if you did trade Duran, then then you would have to. It's like, what's the next move to get a center, though? Right? Like
you'd have to like I'm assuming you'd like try to get Miles Turner. I would say like that would be the instant thought in my head is that then you go and get Miles Turner and try to just space it. But then that whole idea of becoming like this, being this team that dominates possession battle, dominates rebounds, dominates second chance points, like that completely goes out the window because both Zion and Miles are not good rebounders.
No, Zion did have a pretty good defensive season, I will say. I mean, he did stay somewhat in shape. And you do look at his contract, I believe the last year of his deal is non-guaranteed. So some of this front office is non-guaranteed deals, man. They're absolute sickos. They got John Collins, they got Duncan Robinson. I went down a stupid rabbit hole. They have so many former Atlanta Hawks players. They have Kevin Huerter.
The Pistons? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's Torian Prince and now John Collins.
They had Schroeder last year.
Yeah, man, it's
or I guess 2 years ago now would be.
Yeah, I mean he's probably gonna get traded.
He's been traded like 13 times.
He's gonna break Ishmish's record, I swear.
Yeah, no, yeah, he's on his way.